Okay, so welcome to art class, everybody. So good to see all of you. We have a few new things we're going to be trying today. I'm really excited for you guys to see them. But tonight we're going to be discussing digital painting softwares. And I'll get more into that in a minute. But the same disclaimer I do with every art class. I'm Moon. I've been an artist for God knows how long. I've taken commissions for God knows how long. I used to teach art classes. This isn't my first rodeo. I'm Moonjura's mask everywhere that matters. Art. I love doing art. I have a Otome game that I made. We're gonna try to keep this stuff very short and sweet because we have a lot to go into today. So I want to try to short and sweet this stuff. Sorry about all the coughing. I try to hold it. I try to mute myself, but I'm still kind of getting over some sickness. So just bear with me for a moment. All right. So this is what we're going to go over today. I have some announcements and upcoming events I'm going to talk about with Pinktopia for those who are watching that missed the class. Watching on my YouTube, the classes are held live in Pinktopia, so if you want to be a part of the discussion, share your own tips and tricks throughout the art class, then Pinktopia is the place to do it. We're going to talk about paid art programs. We're going to talk about free art programs. We're going to talk about how to use the big three, which would be Clip Studio Paint, Procreate, and Krita. And then I have a creator spotlight, which I won't spoil that one, but it'll be really cool. I think you guys are going to like it. So we're going to go over upcoming events here in Pinktopia. The soonest event we have coming up is Ichigo's weekly game nights. I do not know what game she's going to play with you guys yet, but they're super fun. She plays like Roblox and Fortnite and all kinds of really fun stuff, and she's very fun to play games with. I pop in and try to play as much as I can, but it's very, very fun. Then next week, we've got Art Corner with Wolf Girls Art. All of us artists go and we hang out in a VC, and you could choose to stream your art. We bounce ideas off of each other, and it's a really great time. We play music from the Pinktopia Spotify playlist. It's really nice. Pinktoberfest is coming up. We discussed it during the town hall earlier today. We have a bunch of really cool things planned if you want to be a part of it. You can apply in the applications to become event staff. We need lots of event staff in order to be able to do all of these cool things. I specifically am heading up like an art festival where we're going to do like art streams, and art corner is going to be going on. We're going to have a monthly prompt for October, so it's going to be really fun for us artists. And then our monthly prompt for this month is graffiti. You could either do graffiti in VR chat or honestly IRL graffiti if you're that cool. But you could use a Pinktopia mascot or your own OC, and it's super, super fun. And in the forum that I'm going to have Rocky link for you, where I post the links to the YouTube videos, this PowerPoint will be able to be looked at. So you guys can click on all of these links and stuff, because I source. Monthly prompt only works in Hall of Art, beloved dreamer. Yep, it only works in Hall of Art. But if you guys type up monthly prompt in Hall of Art, Ava will give you information about the monthly prompt. And our example was done by Artemis this month, so you guys, I'm really excited. And our next monthly prompt is really cool too. A dreamer did the art for our next month's monthly prompt. It's gonna be really exciting. Super excited. So enough of that. We're gonna go ahead and get into art class stuff. But first, our beloved dreamer went through and asked some of our artists for certain things that we'll talk about. But Fishy gave us a really nice, like, brain teaser kind of exercise to think there can be right and incorrection, but the reality is, do others have enough grit to not allow themselves to recognize this as retreating from their own shortcomings? Intentionality versus inability. Question your psyche in the act of your own judgment without losing sight of reason. This is really good in the form of being an artist, because I saw a really good thing on Twitter the other day where someone said, man, this art looks bad. Well, it's just gonna look bad. You can have... No art is perfect. If you're happy with your art, then there you go. That's all that matters. The only opinion on your art that should matter is your own, because you're the one who's doing it. Now, I won't lie to you. I will say that I love my opinions, my husband's opinions on my art. I always ask him for his opinions. And sometimes it is nice to have like a second pair of eyes in case there's something that you don't see. But don't ever let anyone say your art sucks, because you're the only one who gets to decide that. And even then, the fact that you're even creating art is beautiful. I just want to push that, and thank you, Fishy, for giving us that quote. Love it. Very wonderful. I just want you guys to think about that, especially those of us who are just now learning art. It's okay. Keep practicing, keep having fun. That's the point of being an artist. You're just supposed to have fun. Don't think of it as a career. Think of it as a hobby. Think of it as something fun that we are doing, because that's what art is. It can be a career, but don't lose sight why you started. That's my biggest. Don't lose sight why you became an artist. Take a drink. Okay. Small disclaimer before I start. My intention with this class is not to tell you what art program you should use. I am giving you the tools to research on your own and figure out what art program you use. So I didn't always use Clip Studio, number one, because I couldn't always afford it, and number two, because I didn't quite understand art programs. I'm not trying to tell you which art program to use. The only one who can tell you which art program to use is you and your workflow. What art program is perfect for me will not be the perfect art program for Dreamer. What works for Dreamer won't be the perfect art program for Rocky. It is, there are many different art programs out there. There's many different pros and cons to different art programs. I want you to decide what art program you want to use. And if this class... If we talk about an art program and you're like, man, I really want to try that art program, by all means, do that. I'm just trying to give you the resources to show you all different types of art programs and, how to use them. Okay, moving on. Any questions, concerns before we get into the thick of it? Anything you guys would like to say? I'll take a break and take a sip of my drink. I'll let Rocky finish typing. Yes, it is okay to change things up and try new programs. I will say before we get started, I am so stuck in my ways. You will know which one is my favorite art program. I am very stuck in my ways, but I have tried to change things up. And by all means, if you want to change things up, absolutely do so. Thank you, Rocky, for letting us know that. So we're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to start with the paid art programs. This means you're going to have to shell out money. Something that will be mentioned later on in the PowerPoint that I think should be mentioned now as well. You do not have to pay to be an artist. You do not. We are going to give you lots and lots of free art programs that you can make do with. However, if you have the money to buy art programs, these three are going to be your best bets and will not scam you out of your money. Okay? Okay. We're going to start with my baby girl. This is my baby girl. I love Clip Studio. I love Clip Studio. I have been using Clip Studio for at least 7 years now. I love Clip Studio. However, Clip Studio is very expensive. But I will say yeah, crazy. Clip Studio is very expensive, but to me, again, I am biased and I will admit it, I am biased. It is worth the money to me because I think that it's a very good art program for my workflow. Clip Studio has Asset Store where they have a bunch of user created brushes, auto actions, masks, just color palettes. I mean, it's absolutely wonderful. I love Clip Studio assets. Now, it is for Windows, Mac OS, Android, iPad, and iPhone. However, mobile Clip Studio is a subscription service thing. And unfortunately, so many things are subscription service, and it sucks. However, for iPad and iPhone, I don't know if it's the same for Android, but iPad and iPhone, it is only $5 a month for Clip Studio, and you get the full thing, and it's good. The update to version 3.0, which is an update that they consistently add quality of life updates, new features, is also subscription, but there is a one-time purchase. I do not know how much the one-time purchase is, but I ended up buying it. Yes, if you want the EX, then it's $8 to $9, but still $8 to $9 isn't too bad for how beefy Clip Studio is as a painting software. Now we're gonna go through and I'm gonna show you guys how to use Clip Studio, but that's gonna be a little bit later. I just wanted to go over the main points of why Clip Studio is so nice, and I will mention that Clip Studio does have sales quite a bit. And without the update to 3.0, you can get Pro for like $20 sometimes, which is a steal, to be honest with you. So, again, I will send this PowerPoint into the forum that I have for class, so you guys will be able to check out the product pages and stuff like that. We will not have the time to go through every product page, but by all means, you guys should research your art programs, especially if it's one you're going to pay for. But this is my favorite. I love Clip Studio. Okay. Any questions about Clip Studio? Again, we're going to go more in depth into Clip Studio. So if it's a how do you use Clip Studio, how do you use assets, we'll go through that once I'm at that section. But the pros, I'll try to speed run the pros. It's very beefy, very professional asset store for cons. It is paid. It does have subscription service, and the updates, like the current updates, continuous updating is paywalled, which does kind of suck. But I just can't stop from Clip Studio, so I stick with it. As much as I don't really like the subscription, I do stick with it. Yep, it's Rocky's favorite as well. Okay. We are going to discuss, yes, Adobe. I'm actually not going on over Adobe over here because I personally think Adobe is a scam. I don't like Adobe. It is way too expensive. And Photoshop, I actually used to do art on Photoshop, and it's just not... Photoshop just isn't good as an art program. If you can make it work for you, by all means, but for me personally, it's just not good for an art program. But it can work if you have it, you know. Alright, we're going to move on to Procreate. Procreate is the big bad. Everyone knows about Procreate. The biggest con for Procreate is it is only on iPad. However, as you can see that I put down below, they are working on a desktop version, which is nice. It is very simple and easy to understand. However, a con to it looking so simple and easy to understand is that a lot... Yes, iPhone as well. Excuse me. So the con of it being simple and easy is that some of the more, how do I put this? Like, professional features are a little harder to get to. They're a little bit more complicated to get to. Like, for example, brush stabilization is really hard to get to, where on Clip Studio, you just have like a stabilization tick. Like, you can just tick a little check mark box, and then you can like adjust your stabilization. That kind of sucks. Their default brushes are really good. And I like their default brushes. And it's a one-time payment. It is $12.99. I remember when I got it, it was only $10.99. Inflation sucks, guys. But it is a really good program, especially for iPads and the Apple Pencil or any kind of iPad pencil that you've got. It works really good. It has built-in basic animation software that's kind of reminiscent of Flipnote, which is why I use it for my animated emotes, because I can't understand like full-on animation software because I'm just kind of dumb that way. Obviously, Procreate has a speed paint functionality built in. There is no layer limit. However, you have to understand from a technical standpoint that an iPad will not have as powerful RAM as a PC will have. So, that kind of sucks. But as long as you're not like working on anything super beefy, I think you should be fine. I've never run into a layer limit problem, but I am also not very heavy on my layers. But it is kind of nice that it's determined by your iPad RAM. I like using Procreate. I like using Procreate for sketching. I have tried to switch to Procreate a few times, but again, I am stuck in my ways, and I just can't give up Clip Studio. I just can't do it, but I have tried it. But it is a really nice art program, and it's nice that it's a one-time payment. Also, the CEO just released a statement about incorporating generative AI, and he said, I hate generative AI. So good on him. We love a generative AI hater. So that's good to know. I felt like that was important for you guys to know. Now we will be going over how to use Procreate as well. Yes, W Creator. We will be going over how to use Procreate as well. But that, again, that'll be later. Paint Tool SAI. I didn't like Paint Tool SAI, and I'll be honest with you, I am not paying $52 just to try it and see how it goes today. A lot of people live and die for Paint Tool SAI. I don't necessarily like it. As far as I'm aware, Paint Tool SAI doesn't have, like, you can't really import brushes. You may be able to, but they don't have, like, user-created brushes easily accessible. But Paint Tool SAI is good for beginners. Paint Tool SAI kind of gave me a good background for what kind of art system I want to use. But for $52, a lot of people live and die for Paint Tool SAI, but not me. I'm really not a fan of Paint Tool SAI, but it's been around for a long, long time. And yeah, so that's Paint Tool SAI. Not much to say about it. If anyone has some things they'd like to say about Paint Tool SAI, by all means. Yeah, it's kind of mid. It's kind of mid. Not worth the $52 price point, to be honest with you. It's really, it's all right, but it's kind of mid. I know all of my favorite anime artists back in the day used Paint Tool SAI, but not a fan. Yeah, it really is just depends on what you use it for. But I'll go ahead and say that aloud. Hemo says that they use it now for editing textures for models, but that's pretty much it. So it's mid, but I mean, if you like it, you like it. Again, my intention is not to tell you what art program to use, just to tell you the pros and cons of everyone. Okay, now we're going to get into free art programs. There are more paid art programs, but those ones are the big three of paid art programs. So that's the ones that I went over just for the sake of, if we went over every single art program, we would be here for hours and hours. And I can't talk for hours and hours. I don't know about you guys. All right. So, Krita. I have to admit something. I downloaded Krita today and tried to draw something in Krita. And now what I'm about to say should not influence your decision at all. If you're a hardcore Krita user, by all means, I respect you. I don't like it. I do not like Krita. I don't like it at all. I don't like the brushes on Krita. I don't like the default brushes. But that's just my standpoint. I don't like it. However, I understand that I have a 7-year Clip Studio bias, and for being a free art program for the computer with no ads flying all over your face, it is very good as a free art program. And if you can get used to it and you don't have a 7-year Clip Studio bias, you should be fine. I, however, thought it was a nightmare. So, product page, they're very nice. They're for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. For those of you who are not familiar, Linux is another operating software. It is an open source operating software. Very nice. I've thought about switching to Linux myself a few times. I just don't want to go through the whole process. It's free. Free. Free for real. Now, these notes are the notes that I had made while drawing, which I will show you guys the drawing that I made. I do not like the stabilizer. It is a cool stabilizer. It has a really cool visualization to it. And this program, we are also going to go through how to use this one as well. That is why I drew in it today, so that I could learn how to use it, because I haven't used it for a long time. But they have a stabilizer. It kind of sucks to me. I don't really like it. But the weighted stabilization is another option, and that's a lot easier for me to use. It's not easy to find zoom in, zoom out, undo, or rotate tools. They're not like out in plain sight. I did end up finding the rotate, but I did not find zoom in and zoom out. But as long as you guys know your keyboard shortcuts, you should be fine. I have undo keyboard shortcut memorized in my head. It's Control-Z. So that was kind of nice, but it had been a long time since I had Control-Z'd something, so that was crazy. But it has every functionality that you would need to use in an art program. The default brushes kind of suck from my standpoint, but you can definitely make them work. You just have to do it. And you can import brushes, but it is a complicated process, and I didn't try it myself. So it may be easy once you get used to it. But Krita is a very good free alternative that's not annoying and shoving ads into your face. This is what I drew in Krita. I tried my best. So everyone please give me applause for trying my best. I didn't even render it. I was like, I'm tired of this. I don't want to use this thing anymore. Yeah, I didn't feel like using it anymore. I'm just gonna leave this up here for a minute, because I don't want my work to be for nothing, you know. I just please enjoy it for a moment. Yep, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. I may butcher the pronunciation of this, so just bear with me. But Ibis Paint. This is a mobile drawing software. If you see those insane kids drawing with their finger, they're doing it on Ibis Paint. I don't know how. I don't know. Yeah, for real. Like, I don't know how you draw with your finger. Because, guys, okay. That's me drawing with my finger. Yeah, that's me drawing with my finger. Like, I don't know how those kids do it, man. How do you do it, Quo? What are they feeding you, Quo? Answer us the question. Yeah, that's insane. Like, everyone give a round of applause to Quo. Holy crap. That's insane. Um, they have lots of brushes. You can watch an ad to unlock all premium brushes for 18 hours. Good amount of extra functions, no layer limit, low canvas definition, and can be laggy. We need to do government testing. Yeah, so Ibis Paint is a really good mobile art software, especially that's why you see all those young kids drawing with a finger because it's so accessible. It's such an easy art software to be using. They have a tutorial as soon as you open. They have a tutorial as soon as you open it up, and they go through, like, you can see, tap this button to change the brush. It's very easy to understand. Absolutely wonderful for beginners. And if you have, like, one of those phones that have, like, the stylus, you're going to be totally good. Very good beginner art program. I used to, when I had a phone that had a stylus, I actually used to just draw on it. Yes, Ibis Paint has a community part to it where you can download brushes made by others. So there's another plus to that as well. Thank you for telling me, Quo. I don't use Ibis Paint anymore, so Quo is our expert on Ibis Paint. Okay, moving on. Alright, Metabang. I actually used to use Metabang. Again, in the beginning of my art journey. I did, however, use the PC version because back in the day, you know, back in the 1920s, Metabang was actually free on PC. It no longer is. If you check the link that I put on here, Steam, if you go through Steam, it's like $69. And from my memory of using Metabang, I don't think it's worth $69. But that's my personal experience. They may have changed and added more functionality, but for the sake of it being on the free section, we're going to discuss its mobile app, which is free. You got low canvas quality, more layer functions, crowded interface can be difficult for newer artists. As you can see, it does look very crowded. So if you're not used to art softwares, then it may be a little hard to understand. But they have a lot of tutorials that will help you. However, and again, disclaimer, this is not to turn you away from Metabang. If it works for you, it works for you. Having to watch an ad to save, that's stupid. That's really stupid, especially when you have Ibis Paint on the slide before this, that you do not have to watch an ad to save. I think that's kind of stupid, but if you like Metabang and enjoy using it, good for you. But just know your standards, guys. Know that you can have standards, especially when it comes to free art programs. Yeah, but I don't know. Stupid. It's just stupid. Maybe I'm just privileged. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. You may not be paying for art programs, but you are paying mentally by looking at all these really weird ads that they're coming out with these days. Okay. Fire Alpaca. It supports Windows and Mac. It is free. Free. Absolutely wonderful. This was the first. This was the first art software that I ever used, and I used it up until I had Clip Studio. I love, love, love this software. It is so powerful. It is so great. They have awesome default brushes. Very beginner. Yes, it's so great. They have tutorials on how to use it. They have an asset store like Clip Studio, and I just cannot recommend this one enough. It is such a great free desktop art software that is just fantastic. It is absolutely awesome. And if I remember correctly, I think some of the team for Clip Studio actually is responsible for Fire Alpaca. So this is a really, really good art program for freezies. So that's my favorite. Yes, it's very good. And I'm surprised that not many people know about this one. It is a really, really good painting software. And if you guys notice, I'm putting the icons of the different softwares just so that you guys can recognize them. So it's easy for you guys to see. Okay, moving on. We're gonna do rapid fire. These are the free apps that I didn't care too much about to really go through and make a whole slide about. Huge shout out to Dreamer for putting all of this information out for me. They really went heavy on the research for this one, so everyone give Dreamer a huge round of applause. I very much appreciate you, Dreamer. So we're gonna go over these. I have only used Sketchbook and Freeform. Sketchbook, it's all right. It's okay. Freeform, not really good for art. However, Freeform, I actually used to make our lesson plans on my iPad in Freeform. They have glitter pens, rainbow glitter pens, by the way. So I just feel like that's important to mention. High Paint, I don't know what this is, but it has a clean interface. Warp Tool has a very limited size cap, has an animation function, fewer extra tools. Artbook, okay brush selection. A lot of the tools are hidden behind a paywall, which is stupid. Limited layer functions. Art Studio, limited number of layers, only 3 total. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Don't settle for only 3 layers when you don't have to. Oh my god, just get Ibis Paint. That one, I will tell you guys, don't settle for that. My god. Can't save as a PNG, good lord. Leaving the app deletes progress, god. Don't do Art Studio, guys. I will not say this about any other, but do not do Art Studio by any chance. Do not do Art Studio. If I catch any of you doing Art Studio, we're gonna have a talk. I'm gonna go very mob mode on you guys. Don't even. Know your standards, dang it. Free apps, rapid fire, Adobe Fresco. Again, my don't settle like that. Adobe Fresco, again, I don't agree with them. I don't like how overpriced their products are. I mean, Adobe is very professional, but again, it's a personal. If you guys use Adobe, by all means, by all means, if you guys want to use Adobe, don't use my hate for it to discourage you. That is just my personal. Infinite Painter, very clean interface, beginner friendly. Don't settle for 3 layers, guys. Don't do it. Don't settle for 3 layers. Art Set 4, basic brushes but feel like the real material. That could be cool. No brush sizes. I believe Dreamer mentioned that the brush sizes are behind a paywall. Am I right, Dreamer? Yeah, okay. So the brush sizes are paywalled. Don't settle for that. And there's no layers. Don't settle for that. Don't do it. Photo 2, Rocky just told me about. It is a good Photoshop alternative. You get a 6-month free trial right now for it, and after 6 months it is $18.49. I believe this is only on iPad, correct, Rocky? Or mobile, I guess. Nope, both. Okay, cool. So that would be a good thing. Photo 2, Jib. If you're really stuck on Adobe, I would probably say look into that. That might be a good thing for you to look into. Not to call you out, Jib, but I remember you saying that Adobe hates you. Okay, that's our free apps rapid fire. Do you guys have any questions, concerns about our free apps? My best advice: do not settle for any of these dang art programs that don't give you layers, or only give you 3 layers, or have the brush sizes behind a paywall. Just don't settle for that. You guys have standards. Quote, I swear, do not. Why is it artsy? Because it's garbage. You guys are going to go into Hall of Art saying, look what I created on Art Studio. You guys are going to give me gray hairs, I swear. My goodness. I'll let you guys type and I'll take my little talking break. No. Don't even play like that, Rocky. Don't even. Oh my gosh. You guys are stressing me out. Right. We good to move on, my friends? Maybe. Okay, cool. Yes. Do check out the free stuff to see what you like. Then do research for the paid stuff. Free stuff is really good, especially if you're learning how to do art. Then you don't have to commit to a paid software. But if you are like me, I'm gonna call out Quo because I know Quo is a very talented artist and dreamer, and Rocky. Quo doesn't pay. Quo's one of those crazy finger drawers, but we all pay for our art programs because being an artist is, we love doing art. We're never going to stop doing art. So for us, paying the money was worth it. So by all means, if you have the money available and you want to try one of the free ones, by all means, I'm not turning you away from them. I'm just educating you on the pros and the cons of them. Okay, now we're going to demonstrate how to use Clip Studio, Krita, and Procreate. So, we're going to go over Clip Studio. I'm going to go over the PC app first, and you guys can see what my PC app looks like. Let me change my screen real quick. Change windows. Okay, so this is what my Clip Studio looks like. This is what happens when you first open Clip Studio. This is not the actual drawing program. This is just your home screen. You can see some of the stuff that I've been drawing, and I can just click on any of these and open up the drawing, which we'll do in a second. You can see that I can get access to my assets through this menu, which if I just click on this assets here, it'll take me straight to the assets store where I can go and look at all of this stuff, and they have it organized by free and paid, and they do on this side thing here. I'm gonna full screen this so you guys can see it a little better. On this side thing here, you guys will see if they have a promotion for free CP, which is their in currency, in asset store currency. Like you can see these have 10 CP or whatever, so you'll be able to.
I'm leaving.
Okay. So you'll be able to buy some of this stuff. Usually on Twitter, I'll see an artist say, hey, there's a month-long by Mr. Rudro's Vets. Guess there goes my husband. They have like a month-long thing where if you sign into Clip Studio one day every day, then you'll get a set number of them. So there are free ways to get that CP, but it's basically they're in program currency. Our gamers are familiar with that. So it's really cool, and you can go to your downloads, and I can show you all the stuff that I've downloaded, but just for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and move on. So when I go home, we'll get back to the screen here. I'm going to go ahead and open up this as soon as it wants to open. Okay, it's going to go ahead and open. I'm going to go through some of the basic features of Clip Studio, and then we're going to go over one more thing with Clip Studio, but we're going to go over the PC. So this is what Clip Studio looks like when you open it. You can edit your workflow to whatever you want it to be. So this is how I like my workflow. Your workflow won't always look the same as me. And by workflow, I just basically mean the position of all of these menus and stuff. So I'm going to go over what I've got going on here. So when I go, this is my side menu here, which has all of my tools. Got zoom in, zoom out. Usually, most of the time, I will just use my mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Then you've got your move. You can move your canvas around. If you're on the iPad or something with a touch screen, you can use that. You can also rotate this way as well. But another way I have rotation and zoom in is this menu here. I'll go ahead and pop it out. This is my navigator, where you can see a mini version of your drawing, and you can zoom in and out, and you can rotate. I'm just blasting my art, I guess. And then you can put it where it's easy for you to view. Okay. Pretty easy to go with. We also have we can move the layer, like I'm moving my signature here. And this on the navigator as well, which I'm going to show you guys since I'm going to do it. Let's say you have it tilted like I do and you want to get it back to normal position. Bam, reset position. I love that so much. That was one thing that Krita did not have, or I couldn't find, that I just love so very much. Put that back there. Okay. Lasso tool. This is good for selection and stuff like that. Auto select, like I can auto select this bit of the hand based on the shading. That's kind of nice when you're coloring. Color drop, you can pick out a color. A lot of the times when I'm doing commissions, I color drop color palettes. This is your pens. I got markers and calligraphy in this little organization, and I have a bunch of different pens and stuff like that. As you can see, they're all loading here. I try a bunch of different pens. You'll have pencils and pastels, paint brushes, spray paint, effect brushes, eraser. Something I like about this eraser I got from the assets, if I set my line art layer as a reference layer and I color, the eraser will understand that the line and will not erase past that line. It's really nice. Let me see if I can demonstrate that super quick. Every art program is going to have this, so I'm only going to go over this on Clip Studio. This is your canvas size. Work in whatever canvas size you want to work in. I work in bigger canvas sizes because I don't like what's the word I'm looking for? Like low definition brushes. I like to be able to zoom in and see everything clearly. However, you will be limited with mobile art softwares on how big you can make your canvas, because the bigger your canvas is, the higher the performance is, if that makes sense. So just keep that in mind. You can change your paper color. I always work in grays. I like having my paper color in gray. Sometimes I'll have like a very desaturated pink. Again, it's up to you. If you want to work in white and kill your eyes, by all means, have fun. I don't. Clip Studio also has a light mode, but I don't hate my eyes, so I work in dark mode. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. I'll show another tool while I'm at it. This is your line tool. I'm gonna do a circle just for the sake of having a nice circle here. And I'm going to add a layer. This is gonna be my color layer. Let's color it in with pink. This is your brush sizes. Not locked behind a paywall. Crazy. Maybe because I paid for this. But if I use if I set this as a reference, which is this cool little, like, it looks like a lighthouse. This little lighthouse button, that'll set that as a reference. So I'm going to, wrong layer. So I go down to my color layer. See how it doesn't go past the circle? Really nice. I love it. So cool. Love that eraser. So that's my beloved eraser. Okay. Your liquify, you can just I'm so sorry. You can move your stuff. Like if I go on our line art layer, I can just liquify it and, you know, move your thing. Super easy. Your paint bucket, we're all aware of the paint bucket fill-in area. Gradients. I love the gradient tool. You can even import gradients, but I love the gradient tool. It's so nice, so beautiful. You could even pick like a color and have like a transparent gradient. Love it. My favorite. This is the tool we just went over. This is for comic making. You can have a cool little comic tool. Clip Studio does a lot of like comic stuff, so Clip Studio is really good for web comic art and stuff like that. You got your rulers, you got a text thing. When I do Pinktopia posters, I use the text thing, and you can import fonts on Clip Studio, so that's really cool. This again is the comic stuff. You can have little text bubbles and stuff like that. You can have different balloons and text bubbles, and you can change the colors and the fill, stuff like that. So the way that I have my workflow on this side is I have my tool, and then I have my size of my tool, and then I have my tool properties. If you remember, I discussed Krita and the stabilization. The stabilization here is literally just, you can adjust it with this slider. Right. You can also do anti-aliasing, which basically tells you if your brush is going to be smooth or not. You can adjust the opacity of the brush, which basically means, is it going to be a solid color or is it going to be more transparent? And then, of course, you can edit your brush size from the tool property as well. And this is the same for every brush. They may have different properties, but we're not going to go through every single one of my brushes. We're just going through very, very simple. Over here, I've got my color wheel. I personally like using a color wheel, but you can also put a color slider up here. These are all of my recently used colors, and if I go over here, these are my color palettes. I have a skin color palette that I downloaded from the asset store, so this is how I get to those different color palettes. And I also have a mixer mixing, and here's the sliders and stuff like that. You can also, this is good for like color theory and stuff like that. I don't really use those. My main ones are the color palettes and then my recently used colors. Here is that navigator I showed you guys, and then here's all of my layer stuff. This is all of my layer stuff. So here's what my layers would look like on a normal artwork. And then here is your layer properties. You can have layer properties. Like when I do this nice outline, that is done on layer properties. Let's see. There's another thing. Auto actions is a thing that Clip Studio has. You can get a bunch of cool auto actions from the Clip Studio Assets store. Okay. That is enough on the PC Clip Studio. Do you guys have any questions about PC Clip Studio before I move on? I'm going to show you guys what the mobile version of Clip Studio looks like in just a second, but if you guys have questions about PC Clip Studio, now would be the time to ask. I wish I had a cricket sound effect. How do you get the cute drawing of Moon onto your screen? Isn't it already on your screen if you're watching? Isn't it already there? Well, on your Clip Studio. Well, oh! Good thing you asked that. So if, let's say you have a sketch that you did in a different program, like I did Procreate, you're going to do File, Import, Image. And you'll be able to upload an image. Like, we'll just slap this one here. Bam! Now there's an image. Crazy. So if you have a canvas, now let's say you want to create a canvas on a picture you already have. Let's go open. I'm just gonna pick this one. Bam, crazy. Look at that. Crazy. Insane. And if you want to change your canvas size, wow, crazy, I know. If you want to change your canvas size, go to Edit, change canvas size, change image resolution. You can also do, and you can do all of that kinds of stuff. Another thing, I believe this is only in version 3.0. I could be wrong, but you can record a time lapse in Clip Studio now. So there's that. You can do that as well. I'm not going to go through all of these because we, quite frankly, don't have the time. This is going to be a longer art class than usual because we still have stuff to go through. So if you guys want to know more about Clip Studio, absolutely ask me. I know a lot about Clip Studio. Again, it's my favorite art program. So I'm going to have Rocky share her iPad screen for you guys. She is going to show you guys what Clip Studio's mobile version looks like. It is very simplified compared to the desktop version. So I'm going to go ahead and have Rocky come up here and share her screen for me. Gonna go ahead and stop sharing. Okay. Everyone say hi, Rocky. Okay.
App on mobile, it can look pretty much identical to what you would get on the PC. But the fun little aspect about mobile Clip Studio, at least for my iPad, is they have a simplified mode. And that's what I'm going to go over. I don't typically use the simplified mode too much, but as you can see, you've got all of your different layers and things. I don't have a, well, actually, I can have a mouse. Give me a second here. So that way you can see what's, okay. You can see my little pointer, right?
Yes.
All right. This is the iPad mouse. It looks funny. Let's see. But you have all of your different layers and things that you can use that would be on any of your typical drawing devices, except for this one that only gives you 3 layers. We're not going to go there. We have your brush tools that you can select. You can even import the same assets from the Clip Studio that you can find on the PC onto here. You can still do that. You can download assets. I don't have any downloaded right now, but I can try and add one that I already have. If it, or let's see, but yeah, we'll just go pick one right here. So we're going to download a neon brush and see how simple it is to get it. And now, if you go to your brushes, maybe, like I said, I don't use this one too much. It's the neon brush is downloading. I downloaded it twice. Wow, look at me, you guys. I'm professional. But you have all your selection of pens. You, I think it's because I have my mouse on. You can draw all over. You you can double tap to undo. You can use your hands to maneuver around the screen just like you would with your iPad. I'm sorry, I have cats howling in the background.
We can't even hear them. You're good.
Okay. But let's actually make that a fun color, shall we? We'll go with pink. We all love pink, right? This is Pinktopia. So there is a downloaded asset right there. And you have your lasso tool like you have on your main screen. You have your fill tool. I probably I'm not really carried. So we just made her pink.
Yep, that's okay. We're just showcasing some of the tools.
Yeah. And got your liquefy. And you even can change like your strength of everything from here. You just kind of have to press and hold on your tool, and then the settings come up. There's no object. And let's see, they have like different filters and effects. You have where you can have your different overlays. If you're used to using those, you can change your overlay settings to like multiply, burn, or normal. It has like all of the basic features you'd want if you just want to sit down and sketch. But if you're wanting to get more in depth into your drawing, I'd highly, highly suggest, well, going back to your studio mode, which is over here. And it's just a switch right on back.
Perfect. Okay. For the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and switch straight over to Procreate. So if you want to open up Procreate, let me make
Yes.
sure. All right, Dreamer.
Dreamer's going to walk it. I'm not going to
Dreamer
say anything.
uses Procreate. Now, like I said, I only use Procreate for sketching. Dreamer is our resident Procreate expert. So, let's see here. I'm going to pull Dreamer up here, and Dreamer's going to explain Procreate to you guys and the tips and tricks that they know. So, Dreamer, please respect. Wow. There we go. Dreamer is now a speaker. So Dreamer's going to go through this with you guys and walk you through it. Dreamer's going to tell Rocky everything to show you guys. Oh, okay. I will fill the time. Actually, I know a few things about Procreate, so I can carry it for just a second. As you can see, Procreate looks a lot. That's okay, Dreamer. Take your time. I can talk for a little bit. You can see on the left side that there is two sliders. The bottom one is for opacity, which we just discussed, shows whether or not how thick the brush is, how transparent it is. And then the top slider is the brush size. And then the little middle button you see there is the color dropper. The two little arrows on the bottom are undo and redo. You can see on the upper right corner, you've got a little looking paintbrush. If you could click on that, Rocky. That's got all of your different brushes, and they have a lot of really good default brushes. And if you press that little plus, you can make your own brush. I actually have an Among Us brush that I made that I use sometimes, and it's an Among Us with a big butt. But that's where you can go into your like stabilization and your taper and your shape and stuff like that. That's where you're going to get your tool properties, which you can edit that of every brush that you have. Oh, for real? Okay, I got you, Hemo. Okay, if you want to cancel that, and you can also import. You can see the import button there. The little the little finger that you see up there. Well, Rocky just showed us the import, but that's how you import stuff. The little finger up there is the smudge tool. You can have different brushes as your smudge, which is kind of nice. Um, the eraser is obviously an eraser. The two little pages are your layers. You can see the little N there. If Rocky clicks that, that's how you can edit what type of layer it is, which is where you get into like the darker, the darken, the color burn, the linear. Multiply just basically makes your layers darker. Linear burn is kind of like a glow. I would research what every layer setting does and figure out what works for whatever effect you're trying to do. And then the little plus button is how you add a layer. If you put two fingers on a layer, that's how you can adjust the opacity of a layer. Like Rocky just did, she slid the layer, which you can, that's how you delete your layers. The little like black circle that you see up there, that's your color picker. They have a default palette that's kind of nice, but it also has a history, and you could go to different color settings on that, which is very cool, very nice. um, Press uh, the little wrench thing for me. Spider emergency resolved. Okay. Actions, that's how you insert your references. If you're using a reference, you can add text, you can take a photo. Canvas, crop, resize, animation assist, that's how you get to their little easy to use animation software. You can have a drawing guide, you can have a reference, and that's what that does. Rocky's showing it to us. You can import an image, or you can have like your camera on. I'm sure you don't want to out yourself, Rocky.
Not at the moment.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So you can have your camera and stuff like that.
Oh, I turned off everything. How did I do that?
Maybe when you did the face. Dreamer! You want to take over, my friend?
Hi, sorry. Oh
okay.
my god.
That's okay.
My light flashed before my eyes.
That's okay. Dreamer's gonna go over the other stuff I have not talked about. So the stage is yours.
Oh my gosh, but what have you not talked about? I was gone trying to find a spider.
I went over opacity, brush sizes, importing brushes, layers, smudge tool, eraser, colors. We had just gotten to the settings where you do like the reference and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah, the rest of the stuff in the wrench is pretty straightforward. The only thing I would point on is in the prefs tab, that second to last one, pressure and smoothing. That's where you go to start out your stabilization journey, and fiddle around with that to your heart's content until you find something that works out, or not.
See,
and just deal with it.
I didn't even know that, so that's why we got Dreamer up here.
So.
Yeah, that's why we got Dreamer up here, man.
And then so that's pretty much what you need for the wrench bit. Then you can go to the tab after with the little magic wand. That's got your color balance and blurs and sharpens and noise. Everyone loves some noise. It's really great. It also has your liquefy tool down there. That's pretty fun. Everyone loves a good liquefy. Yep, exactly. Just get rid of those eyeballs. Who cares? Yep. And I think a lot of people don't know where the liquefy is on there. That's where it is. You can, if you can't find it, you just scroll down a little bit. There's a few more things on adjustments than you think. So yeah, play around with a bunch of different the colors and what have you. That's really fun. And then your next tab over is the selection tool, which you got a bunch of different ways to do it. You have automatic, which is, it pays attention to colors or lines. freehand, similar to a lasso tool. And then you got, different shapes that you can use should those be appropriate for you. And then if you see at the very bottom there, you can do things like fill your selection, or you can copy and paste. So those are fun little shortcut tools there. And then after you make a little selection, or if you want to just use one layer at a time, you have the little cursor, which is your movement tool. You got a bunch of different ways to move. You got you can freeform it, uniform it, you can warp it up, have a great time with that. It's super cool. Something that I don't think a lot of people are aware of is if you open up your layers and you swipe from right to left, or no, left to right. Sorry, I work in an eye doctor. I'm backwards all day. So if you swipe from the left side to the right side on any amount of layers, it'll select those layers. And then you can... Oh, my cat's trying to come inside. You can
I did
then
not
move...
know that you could slide it to that side and alpha lock
Yes.
the layer. I did not know that.
Yeah, so
I'm
once
learning
you have
today,
all those
guys.
selected, you can move all of those layers at the same time, so you don't have to go one by one by one by one by one, which is nice. Yeah, and that's your movement tool. I don't know if you talked about this, please stop me if you did, but if you go to the brushes and then tap on literally any brush that's existing, you can also do all of those fun little settings. You can mess with any brush that
We
exists.
briefly went over it.
Yeah,
Very
so
briefly.
if you go to stabilization, you can mess with the individual stabilizations of brushes. So, if you have a preference for one brush but not another, there you go. You can, change it to your heart's content. The biggest draw to Procreate is that there is so much customization that you can do, which is so cool. It's so great. There's so many things you can do. He already talks about importing brushes, which is cool. If you haven't talked about it with the layers already, there's a lot of different gestures that you can do with the layer tab. We already talked about swiping left to right. If you do right to left, you have your lock, duplicate, and delete layers. The little check mark goes, of course, to hide layers. Really fun fact, if you are looking to make a transparent background, all you have to do is go to the background layer and deselect that layer, and then it'll make the background transparent. Yippity-doo.
You can also edit your background color if you select the background layer, and it'll just take you straight to the colors.
Yep, just right there, all those beautiful colors. Oh, look at them all, great. And then, of course, if you tap on the layers, you get, if you tap on, like, where the layer name is, you'll get the, to rename, you have select layer, fill layer, you can do a clipping mask, you can invert, merge down, things like that. And then if you tap on the little N that's right next to the checkbox, that's where you have all of your blend patterns that you can switch between, and also your opacity, which I think you guys said you mentioned.
Yep.
Yippee-doo. If you didn't say already, there's of course on the far left side you have your undo and redo buttons.
Yep.
You can also do the 2-finger tap to undo, 3-finger to redo, and if you press and hold on the buttons or press and hold 2 fingers, it'll undo a bunch. If the same thing for redos, if you press and hold that or press and hold 3 fingers, it'll redo a bunch at
Also,
a time.
if you have a line and you hold the line for, I believe it's 3 seconds, it automatically straightens that line. And it also works for a circle. If you do a circle and hold the
Yes.
circle for about 3 seconds, it does an automatic circle.
Yes, you can do that for lines, arcs, circles / ellipses, and quadrilaterals.
Very, very
And then
cool.
also, once you have like made your line, you're not, you can press and hold and then still move that line around when you're holding. But if you let go of it and then hit the little pop-up on the top that says like edit arc or edit line or something like that, you can press that and it'll give you some points to warp it even more so you can make it absolutely perfect. And sometimes it's kind of difficult. to get a quadrilateral going, because if you don't like perfectly close your square, it's gonna be like, oh, it's a funny little polyline. It's like, no,
Right.
I want it to be a shape actually. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I want it to
Uh,
be a square, please.
but once you do have that square, it's very nice to play with all of those points of articulation.
That
You can
is
get
one
them
thing
right
I
where the heck you
like.
want.
That is one thing I like about Procreate that I wish Clip Studio had. It is very cool that you could just hold a line or hold a square and can do that. I think that's really nice.
Yeah.
So I will mention that.
And of course, if you're ever confused about something with Procreate, they do have Procreate Folio, which they have a discussion tab for, which any question you could ever imagine is there. So I promise you, you're not the first person to have a question about Procreate. Just like literally look up Procreate, how to do this, and it'll come up on Procreate Folio. So you'll have people, telling you about their experiences, as well as staff members from Procreate who come in and answer questions when they can.
Yep. Okay.
Yippee.
Sounds great. Thank you for telling us about Procreate.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I'm sorry about my spider
No,
emergency.
it's totally okay. I understand. I also would have a spider emergency. Okay. All right, we're going to very quickly go over Krita because we are very past the usual hour time. So I'm going to very quickly go over Krita. We're going to go over the last bit of the PowerPoint and then I promise we're done. I hope you guys are enjoying, and always if you guys have questions, ask us. We will answer them. Screens. Gotta get my thing going. Okay, let me move this back. Isn't my desktop background so nice, guys? So cool. Yeah, we love my desktop background. Okay, I'm going to open up Krita here. We are going to speed run Krita. We're gonna speed run it. It's gonna be great. I should have like a streamer speed run timer up at the corner of my screen. If it wants to open. Maybe I didn't even want to talk about Krita anyway, actually. Oh, there it goes. Okay, it's loading. Okay. It's loading, guys. It's kind of got the same open, like the same open screen as Clip Studio, which is kind of nice. I'm gonna show this again because I didn't suffer for nothing. But Krita is these are the brushes here on Krita. This is your layer properties. You got colors. Over here is where their tool options are. This is where I discuss the stabilizer. If I have a bigger delay, it's gonna have a bigger, like this circle here is your stabilization. So this is the delay of stabilization. It kind of sucks. I don't really like it, but I like the visualization of it. It's really nice. They have different stamp brushes. Let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to have no stabilizer. Let's do this cool rainbow brush. Or not. Maybe I won't do this cool little... Oh, there it is. Okay, see, it made it grayscale. That's kind of nice. I kind of like that. So I would assume in this tool property, you could do, like, the color for it. Yeah, so you can just correct all the color. That's kind of cool. That's kind of nice. I like that. It works. It just works. But that's actually kind of a cool brush, I'm not going to lie to you. It's kind of like a grayscale brush, but you can edit the color. I like that. That's kind of cool. We learned it today. Glow brush. I mean, it's it's a good beginner software. It's got all the stuff we discussed. We got opacity. We got brush sizes up here. This is where the rotate tool is. This is where the zoom in, zoom out is. Super easy. I mean, for a free drawing program, it's pretty nice. You know, it's nice. And you can still do all the stuff if you want to lock the... By alpha locking, we're basically saying that you can only edit on that layer and what you have on that layer, so your stuff will not move out. When I do shading, I alpha lock my layer, like my base color layer, and then I do my shading on that layer, if that makes sense. But if there are any tools you're not familiar with, then just, again, Google it. There's tons of tutorials out there. I'm just giving you the basics. Okay. Alright, cool. That's how you flip. That's nice to know. I didn't know that. Anyway, that's Krita. Do you guys have any questions about Krita? Anything you'd like me to go over? You can edit canvas sizes. I do not think it has built-in speed paint functionality. These are all of your tools here. How do you shade? I think we had a class about that. I believe it's on my YouTube, actually. So, you know. Please don't make me shade on Krita. I don't want to do it. Yeah, I don't want to do it. A plug. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead close Krita if no one has any other issues. Sorry, I'm kind of speed running it. No. And I will not open it again. It will not happen. The things I do for you guys, for the classes, I swear. Okay. This is the last part of our class. This is the part that I am so excited. So, Dreamer, our beloved Dreamer, went and asked some of our Pinktopia creators about their favorite drawing softwares and why they like it. So I'm really excited to be able to show off our Pinktopia artists. If you guys want to be spotlighted during art classes, I would love to. I love giving you guys a platform, and I would be so excited to be able to show off your guys' art. So, without further introduction, we're going to start with Spugguts. Spugguts is a very awesome artist. However, Spugguts likes Procreate. Spugguts says, honestly, it's just higher quality and more intuitive than most programs, but Ibis Paint and Fire Alpaca are first loves for me and are also very good for mostly free programs. You shouldn't have to feel like you need to spend money to make art, because you don't. Hell yes, Spud's Guts. You got that. You know it. You do not have to pay to make art. Just make art. That is my best advice for you. And this is some of Spugguts' very beautiful art. Moving on. Again, I'm gonna post the PowerPoint into the forum, and you guys will be able to check these guys' socials out. Some of these guys just gave Dreamer their Discord usernames, so I went and I dug through their Discords to find their socials just so I could link something. So, sorry guys. Yeah. I did, sorry. So, Quo, our crazy little finger drawer here, did this with a finger, by the way. Ibis Paint is an art program that may seem complicated at first, but it gives you a tutorial on almost all of its features while also providing you a whole community that can help you learn as well. Sooner or later, the program will become second nature. It is a great... I believe, Quo, I think you have your Ko-Fi linked to your Discord, so I think that's what that links to. So you're welcome. Yaha. No, that's Soft Gremlin. Hold on. Let's see what socials I've got for Quo. Quo's got a link tree. There we go. That's Quo's link tree. Crazy. Look at that. Yep. Sorry. Sorry, I be promoting our beautiful artists. Yep. So Quo's our crazy little finger drawer. Craziness. Beautiful art. Fishy! We talked about Fishy at the very beginning of this class. Fishy is a fellow CSP user. Clip Studio Paint, while it looks daunting at first, like any new environment, you will come to adapt to. It provides a space where you feel no restriction. Couldn't have said it better myself. That is some of Fishy's very beautiful art. I linked Fishy's Twitter. I will not call it X, but I linked Fishy's Twitter. That's what I got. Okay. Soft Gremlin. Soft Gremlin is another Procreate stan. As for my opinions, I'd definitely say it's a pretty good program. May not have the friendliest interface at first, but there's a lot of sources online to help out with figuring things out. The option of editing brushes is pretty handy, and I like the built-in features like the noise and chromatic aberration. I chose to use it because of my graphics teacher first mentioning it was an industry standard, but then came around to me using it because it felt less cluttered than other art programs I've worked with, and it only required a one-time payment instead of a monthly payment or locking things behind a paywall. That is some of Soft Gremlin's very, very beautiful art. Thank you. Thank you for giving us your opinions. Last but not least, our very own beloved Rocky, another Clip Studio stan. Notice how no one uses Krita. My husband's returned, everyone.
Miserable outside.
Huh?
All you drink water.
Okay.
Don't be like her. Drink lots of water.
He says drink water. Remember. No, okay. Alright, you crazy little finger drawing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Rocky says, I like CSP because I find it's very familiar to me. It feels like Photoshop, but somehow better. I love how it feels to draw on the iPad version and how easy it is to set up line correction. That is important to me because I have disabilities in my hands. Again, stabilization, wonderful. It is inexpensive and has so many features for the low cost. 3D models, thousands of free brushes to explore, and even the ability to create comics. And if you want to pay about $3 more a month, you can even learn to animate. I plan on getting into that feature myself soon. And here is Rocky's beautiful, beautiful art. So thank you everyone who gave us your favorite art programs and why you use them. I appreciate it, and I would love to spotlight you guys every single chance that I get. So thank you guys so much. And thank you, Dreamer, for gathering these for me. I love it so much. So thank you guys. On the topic of thank yous, thank you, Dreamer. I have said it so many times for gathering info for me and asking our artists for spotlights. This is our first art class where I have had Rocky and Dreamer as full-on assistants for me, and without them, I would not have been able to do this long of an art class on my own. We went through a lot today, and it was because of Rocky and Dreamer that we were able to, so thank you guys for helping me with everything I need. Thank you to our artists that agreed to be featured. Quo, Spudguts, Fishy, Soft Gremlin, and Rocky again. My husband is here. And thank you so much to all of you who have showed up to the class today and sat here and listened to me yap on for an hour and a half. I appreciate you guys for being here.
I like that name.
Fishy's good.
That's a good name.
Yep, Fishy's great. So thank you guys for showing up. Every art class that you do, it means so much to see you guys coming to my art class. And I know this one is a lot longer than we usually do it, and I very much appreciate it. You can hear my voice giving out. And I also want to say a very special thank you to Pinktopia, because without Pinktopia, I would not be able to host these classes. Like I very quickly speed ran at the beginning of the class. I used to teach art classes and I loved it so much. And it is because of Pinktopia that I get to do it again. And I love being able to teach these classes. So thank you, Pink and Pinktopia, for giving me a place to do these classes. Okay. Do you guys have any questions, concerns, comments before I end this recording and stop frickin' talking? Crazy little finger drawer over there, Quo. Also, so I don't get called out, I didn't make this. I didn't make this PowerPoint. I didn't do all the assets, so this is the credits. I have to have this on there for legal reasons, so just so that we see that. Oh, can you guys hear the music again? Whoops! And you guys only just now said it? Gosh dang it. Alright, I'm gonna end the recording.